Hello faculty and staff. We wanted to put together a video to talk about a few things instead of meeting. We thought maybe this would save you some time and you could reference back to this information at any point. So today I'm going to talk to you about finals exemption. So let's get started here. In this presentation we're going to talk about qualifications to be finals exempt, the application process, and then some different policies. The handbook says that in order for a student to be finals exempt, they can have no more than 2 excused absences in a class. That is per semester. Along with that, they can have no ISS or OSS during that semester, and not just in that class, but in any class. And they must have at least a 70% in your class in order to be exempt from your final. Understand that that finals exemption policy is on a class-by-class basis, so you could be exempt in your B1 class, but not your B2 class, for example. All right, so students would be finals exempt if they meet the following criteria. Number 1, they have to fill out the application form and get that signed by their parent or guardian and turned in on a specific date or time, which we'll get to here in a minute. Like I said, less than 3 absences, so 0 to 2 absences in a class. What absences don't count? That would be any school-sponsored activity, documented death or funeral, a college visit for juniors or seniors only, and court-ordered appearance for something that's not criminal. So if they were a witness in a case or something like that, but if they're going to court because of something they did, then that does count. All right. Homebound students are not finals exempt. Any student that transferred in after the start of the semester, they are not going to be finals exempt this semester. And students with 4 or more tardy absences per quarter, because we track tardies per quarter. So if you had 4 tardies in a class for the first quarter and 0 in the second quarter, they would not be exempt. But if they had 3 in the first quarter and 2 in the second quarter, they would be exempt, even though they had more overall in the first quarter in that class. All right, and students must be passing with a 70% or above. Understand that there are some tech classes that have higher requirements because of certifications and things like that. But understand, please, that that has to be approved by admin. You can't just randomly make your requirement higher because you think it should be. So 70% or higher. All right, let's see. If a student is exempt from the final and chooses to take the final in your class, that grade can only improve their final can only improve their grade. It cannot hurt their grade. They are not required to attend class during the period that the final is given. And parents can opt to require their students to take their final. So parents can nix finals exemption. And all dual credit and AP classes are required to give a final during the assigned finals time period. So you can't give your final early and then allow them to miss on the day of finals. You have to give your final and give it during that day. Okay, let's move on to applications. Those applications are going to go out this year on November 20th. A student will bring the applications to the teachers that they believe that they are finals exempt, and the teacher will check their grade, check their attendance, and sign off whether or not they are actually finals exempt. Once that's complete, the student takes the finals exemption form to their parent for their parent to sign off on. Their parent can sign off on all blocks, some blocks, or no blocks. And then that completed finals exemption form must be turned into the office by 3:30 on November 26th. There are no exceptions to that. We do not take them late, and we do not take them without parent signatures. After they are turned in, you'll notice there are several weeks there. During that time frame, the secretaries are reviewing every single form to make sure that they are in fact finals exempt. During that 2 or 3 week time period, they can actually lose their finals exemption status if their grade falls too low or they miss more classes. So during that time period, a student can lose their finals exemption status, but they can't gain it. So yeah, that just goes on there. Some final policies for finals exemption. If a student is not finals exempt, but they're going to be gone during the time finals are given, they must have a parent contact the office and get on the approved absent list before finals are given. We will share that list with staff. If they are on that list, that's fine. They missed the final. They must take the final when we return from break during a Saturday school. If they are not finals exempt, they're not on the pre-approved list, and they just don't show up to finals, they're going to get a 0 on their final. Obviously, there's going to be some exceptions to that. We're going to have some kids that are called in sick for various reasons, and we work with them on that. But if they are a no-show, no communication, they get a 0. That wraps up my section of finals exemption. If you have any questions, feel free to come ask us or shoot us an email. More than happy to walk you through the process. Next up, I believe Mr. Patrick is going to be discussing AMI.
All right, just like Mr. Perkins said, I'm going to talk to you about AMI. And we're going to look at the expectations and what exactly AMI is. AMI stands for Alternative Method of Instruction. The state a few years ago came up with AMI and allows us 5 AMI days to use for various things, including inclement weather. So what does that mean for you? The first thing you need to do and be thinking of with AMI is to have a folder on your Google Classroom marked AMI. In that folder, you need to have 5 assignments labeled AMI number 1 through AMI number 5 for your students available should we have AMI days. One of the things that we recommend is that you have your students download those assignments while they are in your class. This allows the students to work on these even if they don't have internet at home. They can work on them offline, and when they come back to school, it will upload them once they hit our Wi-Fi. The other thing that we need to do is to make sure that you're available for students. We're going to ask you, if we have AMI days, to communicate with your students times that you would be available should they have questions on those assignments or need your assistance in any way. Attendance is another thing. Attendance for AMI days is kept in one of 2 ways. Either we have to make contact with the student, and that can be done through email, through phone calls, whatever, or the student completes the work for that AMI day. The state allows us to collect attendance either way. So we will, if we have an AMI day, we will communicate with you all. We will have what is called a CHS AMI day contact form, and you will be asked to reach out to your seminar students and make contact with your seminar students so we can count that for attendance. Once we have collected that, we will compare that, and we will also be providing you with due dates for those AMI assignments. We will compare that with students that completed the work along with students that we made contact with for our final attendance for central office. So what should AMI assignments look like? Guys, don't make this harder on yourselves than it needs to be. It's not a good day to start new work. It should be something that keeps students fresh, keep them working on something to do, but it shouldn't be a penalty to students. It shouldn't be something brand new, something that they don't have an understanding of. We want them to be engaged and to be doing something. For example, some of the things that Dr. Boyer has mentioned he would like to see with our students, and as far as like their specials, having students jog in place, having them read a book and their parents sign off that they've done these things. It should be something, keep it low key, keep it fun. But remember, you're not looking for something that's going to replicate a school day. We're not looking for you to send the students a brand new lesson where they have to figure things out on their own and try something new. It's not going to be replicating a school day. So in summary, just a few things. Be prepared. Have your Google Classroom done. Have those AMI assignments in there. Communicate with students. Make sure that they have those assignments downloaded. Then make sure that they understand what happens on AMI days. Have some fun with it. Be creative. Give them some fun things to do. I don't know, a scavenger hunt around the house. Some different things that they can do and have some fun with it. Be flexible. I know it's hard, and I know when we say we're setting due dates and we're allowing for extended time in those certain things, but this is something that we have to be flexible with. And it is something that, again, is not going to replicate an actual school day. So keep it in perspective. It's again, it's a way for us to be able to provide something for our students, but again, it's not going to be like a normal school day, and we need to keep that in perspective. And next, Mr. Powers is going to talk to you a little bit about Parent Square.
Hey guys, I'm Mr. Powers. I'm going to talk to you guys about Parent Square. If you haven't been using it, please do. Parent Square is going to be that comprehensive communication platform that's designed for our school district. The idea is that we're using one communication device to promote all of our information, whether it's school clubs, activities, sport teams, different buildings, classroom. Everybody be using Parent Square to communicate. It's going to increase communication with parents and hopefully increase parent and community involvement within our school district. Most of you are familiar with it and are using it effectively. Please continue to do so. If you have any questions, Mr. Patrick is our kind of Parent Square guru, but any of us should be able to answer those questions effectively. And then the main thing is that if you are using another app service, whether it's Remind or if it's GroupMe, Instagram, Facebook, if you're putting something out on social media, whether it's a tryout date or a club meeting or something like that, that needs to be going through Parent Square. And we need to make sure that we're including parents as well as students, because we all know that the parents are going to be the ones getting their kids to the important dates. So again, for those of you guys that are using it, you're doing a great job. If you have any questions about it, feel free to come by and ask. And if you have no idea what it is, why don't you check it out, because it's pretty neat. Thanks, guys.